guys, this is Donald with thejapanguy.com, and this is Japan Talk, Session 6. In Japan Talk Session 5, we talked about skinship, or that human connection that people have through touch, and how sometimes in Japan it can be a bit lacking. Today, we're going to take skinship to a higher level. So, what's the highest form of skinship? Butt naked sex. So, who out there likes sex? No. I was raising my hand to try to ask the question. Yes. Don't worry, you don't have to raise your hand. I'm not going to put you on the spot. But today's discussion, while it's about sex, it's not in the way that you might think. So we're not going to get into positions, beads, and creams, and whips. In today's discussion, I actually wanted to talk about the sexless marriage. My question to you today is, in your opinion, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is sex in a marriage? And please explain why. What do I mean when I say a sexless marriage? Now, it doesn't mean that the husband's not having sex. It doesn't mean that the wife isn't having sex. But it means that they're not having sex with each other. Okay, let me say this first. I don't have women coming up to me like, hey, Donald, I'm not having sex with my husband anymore. But if you're around a place long enough, sometimes you come across these conversations whether you want to or not. In the conversations that I've come across, 9 times out of 10, well, it's probably not 9 times, but more often than not, it's the wife saying that her husband isn't having sex with her. Her Japanese husband is not having sex with her. If you're hearing a similar dialogue over and over again, it means that maybe it's a more widespread issue. Now, I think the timing might be different. I'm sure there are some marriages where, the woman and man may have been married for a long time, and then the sex just kind of falls off over time. And something tells me that's probably normal. Is it the 7-year itch? The 10-year itch? I can't remember, but you've been in a relationship having intercourse with the same person for so long that I guess your mind starts to drift after about 7 years. But the most extreme cases that I've heard here, within a year's time, the husband stops having sex with the wife. Does anybody else find that weird? I can't imagine. Imagine within the first year of your marriage, you go home to your wife and you're like, nah, I don't want to do it with you anymore. I don't want to have sex with you. In the first year? But looking at this logically, why would a marriage become sexless? Feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments, but these are the reasons that I've come up with. Okay, sometimes saying I'm at work all the time, or I'm working, I'm busy, I'm working, I'm busy, that can be a cover for another reason that we're going to have later in this list. But sometimes it can be a valid one. If a person is working too much or working too hard, it can affect what happens in the bedroom, I'm sure. And here in Japan, people putting a lot of time in at work and at their companies and jobs is very, 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 very common. You have alternative reasons for getting married. For example, here in Japan, sometimes it does happen now, foreigners might get married to Japanese nationals or Japanese natives for a visa. So in those cases, maybe the initial reason wasn't because you were super attracted, it's because you wanted a visa. Just like with green cards in the US, that happens from time to time. People get married, and they may stay together a long time, but it's to get a green card. But on the flip side of that, if we're just talking about Japanese getting married with Japanese people marrying Japanese people, then it could be, I don't know if you know the word omiai, but omiai in Japanese means an arranged or a fixed marriage. And yes, they still happen. Of course, they happened a lot more in the past, but they happen. So if a woman, for whatever reason, maybe she's getting older and she's starting to worry about not being able to find a mate, families may arrange a marriage. But if your family decided on your spouse for you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like them or that you're attracted to them. So what that can result in is maybe less sex or even a sexless marriage. For whatever reason, maybe you don't like the person that you're married to, or over time you have grown not to like the person that you're married to. You and your spouse are a sexual mismatch. And what I mean by this one is maybe your personalities are different and maybe your tastes are different when it comes to sex. Hey sweetie, check out this new gimp costume I just bought. Maybe one partner has a very high libido and then the other partner has a very low libido. And if there's that gap in the middle, sometimes it means that you could end up going sexless. Maybe it means that you won't have intercourse as much because you guys are on 2 totally different levels. The sex is bad. If time and time again you and your spouse have sex and it just does not feel good, or you're not feeling it every single time, then what is bad sex? It really depends on the person, because everybody's into different things. Like, I don't know, do you like aggressive people? Do you like softer, more romantic sex? Do you like that ghetto love where you're breaking stuff? You know, everyone has different desires, so it's kind of hard to say. Kids, children. This is another difficult one for me to speak on because I don't have any kids either. Sorry, Mom. But I would imagine that it's a little harder to create the situations that you had when it was just the two of you. So when kids are around, it's harder to just be like, hey, baby, jump on the kitchen counter. Like, you can't do that with kids in the house. I mean, at least that didn't happen to my family. I mean, it could happen. That would be weird. Run up on my mom and dad in the kitchen. Scarred for life. My number one reason is you're having sex outside of your marriage. As Confucius once said, man no get ass at home, man get ass in street. He didn't really say that. And this is both sides. Like, I know people are like, oh, men all cheat. Women cheat too. And it does happen in this country. If a husband is not doing what he's supposed to do at home, sometimes Japanese women will find boyfriends, and they're married already. Now it's time to hear from you guys. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think sex is in a marriage? And feel free to discuss anything that's related. And I really want to get your take, because keep in mind that I'm not married and I don't have any kids. But this was a really interesting topic for me, and I hope you find it interesting too. See you on the next Japan Talk, guys. Bye. But as naked sex. Like, I haven't had a woman run up to me like, oh, Donald, my husband's not having sex with me. It's a natural feeling to want to have sex. I have a raging erection right now. If I hate my wife, it's going to be hard for me to roll over and be like, baby, I love you so much. Let me pull your pants down. It's not going to work. Like, if I hate my wife and she's always like, be like, get off me. Pants around your ankles, sex. Hugging, no kissing. And you try to touch your wife and she's like, get off me. Or you try to touch your husband, he's like, get off me. That could be a problem. If I don't like her, it's gonna suck over time. Like, you may be able to get away with that once or twice, but you're not getting away with that for a lifetime. Legs behind your head, sex.